Hungary, one of the weirdest countries in Europe. It sits there in the middle, basically serving as the crossroads between Slavic, Germanic countries and the Balkans, while culturally and linguistically doesn't belong to any of these. Also, it's one of the last countries you would think of when choosing a holiday destination. You won't find spectacular mountains here, wild nature, picturesque lakes or warm beaches. Okay, so maybe the cities? Well, there are some nicer ones like Szeged, Sopron, Győr, Szekesfehervar or Visegrad, but they are still pretty mediocre and dull compared to the European average. You know, just a couple of nice buildings, a sculpture or a fountain here or there, but to be honest, I would only bother visiting them if they popped up on my way to some place. It is also because of the pretty bad condition of the roads and boring landscapes, which makes driving around Hungary not so pleasant experience. There are a couple of attractions, though, that may interest someone, like a little town of Tokaji that produce the famous white wine of the same name, although in Hungary people rarely speak English, so even in the most luxurious looking wine shop in the city, I had to order a sip of wine with the hand gestures. What? And there is the big lake of Balaton. It's main holiday destination in the warm months, but the only place that offers some decent views are the Tihany Peninsula and the city of Kesteli. Still nothing spectacular though. The water seems to be clean, but it's unpleasantly muddy, and there's not much wild nature around the lake. But I understand its popularity, cause you gotta take into account the fact that Hungary has no access to the sea. Oh, and the people. Well, my overall impression is that on average, Hungarian people are pretty unfriendly, and even the fact that I'm from Poland didn't help at all. There's historically a great friendship between our nations, as the famous saying states, Polish-Hungarian two brothers, great for drinking and for fighting. I even came across it written at the entrance of several places, and as I was introducing myself that I'm from Poland there, I was so surprised that nobody gave a damn about it. It's not like I was expecting red carpets, but at least a smile? Although it's not like Hungary is a shithole that has nothing to offer, it rewards those who dig deeper and dare to go off the beaten track. You may find some hidden gems around the country, like this post-mining facility which looks like a beautiful gorge with dark black water. Bring some climbing harness and you can enjoy the climb on the cliffs around, for free. Or mighty Boldogko Castle, with picturesque landscapes around. Or this weird volcanic rock formation, with even more awesome landscapes around. Or hidden among picturesque green hills, the sweet village of Holloko, that represents typical Hungarian medieval architecture. Or floating village on the Bokodi lake. Although the villagers are not too hospitable. Or absolutely amazing Baradla Aggtelek cave. It has a huge jaw-dropping chamber at the end, where they let you taste the acoustics of this place by playing classical music. And the cherry on the top, the one and only, Budapest. Even though the city is not the biggest one in Europe, you have an impression that it's huge. It's because of the architecture that is literally monumental. And you gotta love that all these attractions are tightly packed, so you sometimes have like 2 or 3 jaw drops with the turn of your head. The city is divided into 2 parts by the Danube River. The left side, Buda, is on the hill. It's more medieval castle-ish, and it offers some amazing views over the city. Whereas the right side, Pest, is more like a typical city center / old town, with some great places of culture, busy streets. You can't deny the similarity to Prague in Czech Republic. But if I'd compare them, I'd say that Prague is more sweet beautiful, whereas Buda is more monumental beautiful. That modern, young, intercultural energy is what I love the most about the city. I dare to say that it hides more crazy and unusual places than even London. You even forgive it the typical Hungarian disorder that you see from time to time. Budapest, so far, is my favorite European city. The only place that I've stayed for more than 2 days. Okay, I'm gonna get bashed by Hungarians for this statement, but Hungary does not deserve Budapest. This city is like a 10 levels above the experience you get from the rest of the country. The city should be a separate little country itself, because it's so different. Even Hungarian people from Budapest are nice and they speak English. So if you ever say, I have seen Hungary because you spent a couple of days in its capital, no you haven't. You just have seen a really attractive tip of the iceberg. If you dig deeper under the mainstream skin, you can find gems like this place. Simpla Kert. It's basically a free social space created by everybody for everybody. You can even bring your own stuff here and decorate the building. During the day you can chill here, eat something, smoke shisha, whereas after the sunset, this place turns into a great party club with amazing music and concerts. I wish there was more places like this, where you can clearly feel it was made for the people, not for the profit. As Simpla Kert transformed in the night, so does the whole Budapest. All these amazing places now drown in darkness, with their silhouettes illuminated by thousands of golden lights. All the young people go out and bring their positive energy to the streets. Music, dancing, laughs are everywhere. Take a drink, sit down, and immerse. Well, Hungary is uneven as hell. I'd say it's like an ugly girl with unpleasant character, but in the same time with 10 out of 10 body. So you'll still keep visiting her at nights. Oh gosh, that's a terrible comparison. Never mind, just next episode. Serbia.